Hi, my name is Michael Cirone, and behind me is Sweetwater Reservoir, which very simply is a huge body of fresh water. And if you can imagine 19 more reservoirs like this one, then you can get an idea for the water needs of the entire county. Either this water is shipped from out of state or Northern California. I find it very interesting that San Diego would only be able to support about 100,000 people off of its own rainfall. Of course, this brings me to an important question in my mind. What would happen if there were a massive drought? And what would it mean to San Diego? What would it mean if there was some type of water shutdown or breakdown? We are all aware of the various functions in our daily life where water is incorporated. We use it to replenish our bodies, wash ourselves, wash our pets, water the lawn, clean our laundry, and wash down just about anything dirty. Now think about all these points at which we use water and imagine their absence. No more water in the lawn or washing down the patio. No more nice long showers. One has to conserve usage of water at every turn, leaving the cleanest water for drinking. In trying to answer this question, the thought dawned on me that my very own place of living could uniquely provide insight. Something happened there not too long ago.
I don't know the exact dates, but it was in December, mid-December of 2006, and we had a water main break down the street apparently, and so they put signs up, let us know that we were going to be without water in the whole complex area, and then they got the water back on that night, and then the next day it went off again, and then it was off for a period of a total of about 6 days.
And when you don't have any water, you don't realize how ridiculous it is. You can't wash your hands, you spill something, you kind of pick it up, you can't wipe it off, you can't do anything.
There was a water shortage in December of 2006. It affected myself, my wife, and our infant son pretty dramatically. The funny thing is about this whole water thing is you'd think, well, I could probably live without water. I don't think I could live without electricity or phone or something like that, but you really can't live without water. It's like you can't bathe.
So if you had to go to the bathroom, nowhere in this complex has water, so you had to, I don't know, go to someone else's house.
And I was just aware of things like, normally I would wash the lettuce, make a salad for dinner, and it takes a lot of water to do that. And so I was really aware of just all the little things that you use water for. And it really, just, you know, things like having your shower at a different time of day just throws off your cycles.
There was a big water truck out that you could use it for necessary reasons.
They brought in 2 water trucks, parked one at the north end of the complex, one at the south end of the complex.
They suggested that you didn't bathe or drink it. And when we went out with our big tubs that they gave us, there was kind of like a brown hint to it, so you definitely didn't really want to use it at all.
All they did was leave notes on our door that kept saying, oh, you don't have water, hopefully it'll be back on at 9 o'clock tomorrow, and we never knew.
And no one could really explain why, and that was the real frustrating part of it. You know, they kind of gave us some nonsense about, well, we can't find a part. It's like, well, that's really not believable.
Not having water is kind of just, it's one of the basic things that you never really think about.
It's one of those things that you don't really realize how valuable it is until you don't have it. You realize what you couldn't do. It didn't limit other things. It was just you wanted to do something and then you couldn't do it because you were like, oh my god, I don't have any water.
You start thinking about it going, man, this really sucks. I mean, you know, and you wouldn't have thought that until you were in that position.
Me personally, I wasn't here for most of December. I actually came back for school in January and found out about this whole water shortage thing. Didn't hurt me at all. I didn't have to deal with different levels of treated water, bathing at my own risk, dealing with dry sinks and having to go elsewhere for showering. Pretty good, I think. After interviewing some of my fellow Playmore residents, I heard one thing repeated several times, and that was, you don't know what it's like to go through a water shortage until you have. Since I didn't do this, I am trying to find some way to get closer to that experience. I did have a plan to go without water for 24 hours, and I was going to start in 5 minutes. But I mulled it over, and recently I was sick and I'm recovering, and I just thought about the thought of going without water for even a few hours, and I knew that my mouth would get really dry and I'd get really thirsty. I don't want to do this. This in itself, I think, says something about water. But I've actually conjured up another idea to document an event that can express the value of water. So what I've decided to do is film myself fictionally dying of thirst, and I see this as a way in which to allow everyone to partake in something that really will never happen to them, but allow them to value water more. So here we go. In the case of severe thirst, extreme headaches, chapped lips, and a depletion of saliva ensue. On a sunny day such as this one, the search for a shady spot becomes a life or death matter. My fictional character is rescued to save the more grave aspects of dying of thirst from being shown. The tongue becomes so dry it feels like a chunk dangling around the mouth. One feels like they are exploding, since their skin shrinks more and more. Well, I'm very happy I'm not dying of thirst, and I'm even more grateful that society has fulfilled my water needs from day to day. But in light of this, San Diego still pays a very high premium for its water. Personally, I like being independent. Now I know San Diego is an area that has very small amounts of rainfall, but the San Diego Water Authority has a long-term plan to try to work towards being self-sustaining in its water usage. I can tell you one thing I learned from doing this documentary: the only way it's going to happen is with people that understand the value of their water. Thanks for watching.